Gráinne, you wanted to talk about an article it's a column or an opinion piece by the oncologist John Crown, who's been writing about this aptitude test that's caused a lot of controversy for medical students. He's saying there is no exam that can tell us who will be a good doctor. The new aptitude test is favouring the clever work shirker over the diligent student.
Yeah, John Crown here is criticising this aptitude test, which is being applied to new entrants to medicine this year. And we've seen just over the past couple of weeks a number of people who have got full points in the Leaving Cert, 600 points, and who haven't managed to get into medical schools on the basis that they hadn't got a high enough result in the aptitude test. And the point that John Crown is making is that there hasn't been any problem in terms of competence of these doctors, and so it raises certain suspicions about why the aptitude test is being introduced. And in particular during the week, Gemma Hussey, the former Minister for Education, has questioned the gender bias of aptitude tests, where a lot of aptitude tests, particularly multiple choice questions, and I believe that is the type of test we have here, favours or discriminates in favour of men, and in fact it has been welcomed by a number of lecturers in medical schools on the basis that it discriminates in favour of men.
Whereas actually more girls score higher points for medicine, don't they, than boys from the Leaving Cert.
And one of the things I thought about during the week while I was reading about this is I thought back to the 2002 abortion referendum, and the image which came to me was, I don't know if you remember it, the press conference of the masters of the 3 maternity hospitals in Dublin pontificating about abortion and situations in which a woman would be in a position to terminate her pregnancy, and all 3 of those masters were men, and that is still the case. The majority of gynecologists, obstetricians, people dealing with women's health are men. So it's very difficult for me to accept that there is a problem of overpopulation of women in the medical professions. If it is true that there is an attrition rate with regards to the medical professions in women, then perhaps we do need to have more women studying medicine, so at least we have a better chance of breaking through the glass ceiling.
And actually John Crown's article starts off with a congratulations to a young woman from Tipperary, Mary Claire McGrath. She got 600 points in the Leaving Cert. Her heart, he says, was set on going to medical school and becoming a doctor. She couldn't have done better in the exam, but she wasn't able to get in because she didn't make it with this aptitude test.
And in addition to that, I mean, Mick and I were talking about this before the programme, and there's also, as Mick was pointing out, there's a socio-economic aspect to this as well, that you know, all schools, whether they're state schools or private schools, and I appreciate that there's a higher level of entry into medicine from private schools, but all of them have experience of preparing at least for the Leaving Cert. Now, we know, for instance, with regards to aptitude tests in the US, entry to medical schools, that there's a lot of private courses where people are trained in the methodology for sitting these tests, and there is a danger here, I think, that like in England, for instance, where in private schools people are trained for interviews for Oxbridge and that kind of thing, that we are going to have more of a push for students in a higher socioeconomic category, and that's also a worry. So there's two sectors of society that could potentially be excluded by this aptitude test: women and poor students.
Mick Clifford, what do you make of it?
Well, the first thing I find very interesting, I didn't realise that men were better at multiple choice.
Yes, apparently, according
I'm
to
just
this
wondering, does that infer that men are bigger gamblers, that they're better at gambling than women?
Well, possibly.
I think, in fairness, that's the idea, particularly with negative marking, that men take more of a risk.
Anyway, certainly.
And work shirkers.
I have to say, the last time I found the book, I said, no, there's too many women there. I don't know, maybe there's something going back through our genes there or something. But I mean, the thing about the private schools, and I think there was one case during the week where one of the private schools, those grind schools, was running those type of courses for the aptitude test, and somebody who wanted to do that were told, oh no, you have to enrol for our full course. So you see a commercialisation.
I think they're over 1,000 or something. Did I see a figure of 1,000?
And the other element to it is that people outside the cities, Dublin, Cork, and I think Limerick, they're placed at a further disadvantage again, because even if they wanted to do these grind courses for the aptitude test, they have to travel to the cities. And the one thing I wonder about aptitude tests, how can you check whether somebody has a bedside manner, or whatever.
But that was the reason they were introduced, wasn't it? That they felt that they wanted to have more rounded people, and that this was a way of identifying them.
The concept, you can say the concept has very good intentions, but purely in terms of equity of opportunity, whatever the faults of the point system, and there are many, at least it doesn't matter what you look like, where you're from, anything like that, in terms of your chances of getting to do whatever you want to do.